Hi, hello, namaste, namaskaram, vanakkam. Today we are going to discuss about China's economic slowdown. Okay, so the China is a world largest, second largest economy. Due to their economic policy, now they are facing some kind of economical slowdown, which is not only affecting the China but also India and world. So that we have to consider what was going on, and also India and the world should learn from what are the policy which is impacted to slow down its economic angle. Okay, that is what we are going to discuss from this editorial, which is Hindu paper discussion from the section of text and context. Okay, let's go for the introduction part. They said about how is second largest economy in the world is faring. Did Xi Jinping's strict zero covid policy play a role in decline growth? So zero COVID, what is the impact of zero covid policy? That is also they discussed in this article. And also they are talking about the different in China's investment driven economic model. So the how their investment, how the investment which is affected the China's economic policy. And also we are going to discuss about the experts, what are the experts saying, what should be focused, whether the demand side, the economy should be focused on demand side or supply side. So demand gives consumer angle, so we have to give more money to the people. Then only they can spend the money, and through spending automatically GDP will grow. So that is what the demand side model. But in the consumer centric, there is a demand side development model, and also the supply that is demand side model and a consumer centric model. If you are asking about what is supply side model means, we have to invest more money in the economy, and the industries that will grow, that will produce more product. From the product may then the product rate will be reduced after producing using the lot of technology. Through the lot of investment in the technology, the product rate will be reduced, and the people will purchase the product with the lowest cost. That is what the supply side model. The China is using the supply side model from the 1978. Actually, we will talk about from the history of China's economic policy. From the history, the Mao Zedong, he started the state controlled economic policy. Okay, so that is the actually from that state controlled economic model, that is communistic aspect of model, that is actually slowed down, actually not developed, not used for developing any country. Actually that is impoverished and under investment across multiple sector. So that is why that China realized that thing in 1970s. And Deng Xiaoping, he reformed, opened up the economy, like what we had done in the DLPG reform in 1991. So after that, post 1970, China was average real growth become 9%, even more than 13%. That is the Beijing growth miracle. They called it a Beijing growth miracle. So because they are growing up and growing in 13% is really the high growth at the time of 1970. So while comparing with the India, so that time in 1970, our growth is just 3% or 2.5% only. But comparing with China is growing at 13% from 1978 itself. That is the biggest growth in the world. So after that, what happened means the China also focused on supply side, not the demand side. Okay, so the GDP is fueled the investment on industries, not domestic consumption. So what will happen? The domestic without the domestic consumption, they are investment in the industries. Okay, they invested a lot of money in the industries. They invested, spent on money on infrastructure development and state dominated industries and everything. So after decades ago, what happened means the investment in the economy consecutively absorbed by mostly filled with its when measures to bring down productions and reshape the economy. So what the Mr. Pitti said means of the supply side, it stopped the consumption of the people. They are investing more money to the supply side. So the demand of the people having less money, so they won't spend for the economy, so that automatically the spending is reduced. So the economy is faced slowdown. That is what the problem, that is the demand side sluggish has happened. Okay, so and also they are noting some kind of the and China for every economy is followed investment driven development, like USA. You can take an example of Europe, and everyone followed the investment lanes, investment driven economy. And China also followed the same kind of model, but and after that is more that, but China followed this more than other country in the investment driven supply side reform economy. Okay, so the investment was nearly 50% of its GDP. It's nearly 50%, and and household consumption is less than 34% at the 2010. Okay, so the global average for household consumption was 60 percentage, and also for US is 70 percentage. So it is less than the global average for the household consumption. For India, we can say that here the household consumption is still the government is not releasing the data about the household consumption. Also, India is also facing the demand side sluggishes. So that should be, we should learn from the China. Okay, so that is what discussed in this problem what was happening around China. And as but Chinese President Xi Jinping, he explained economy is growing genuinely, not inflated growth, like that they are telling. But what do we should know about what is genuine growth and inflated growth. If you talk about the genuine growth means it should be sustained one, so that there should be a more money for people, and they should the demand driven growth and sustainable one, that should be called a genuine growth. If you call the inflated growth means it is more unsustainable. It can anytime it can be a slowdown, and it can, that is affected the whole economy. This is non-productive one and insufficient productive investment in infrastructure. So that is what the inflated economy. Okay, so genuine means we have to spend more money on a sustainable growth generated economy. Okay, that is, but Xi Jinping telling that he is talking about genuine. We are focusing on genuine economy, not inflated growth economy. Okay, so consumption led model should be a focused one, that should be China should be focused. Okay, and also China is after the zero COVID-19 policy, China also faced a lot of problem with other countries like US. US told that US banned some kind of industries, and also India is also banned some kind of industries. And also trade war between the US and China. They are having a trade war. They are imposing more tariff on both sides of the country. And also China plus one action and OBOR initiative, like one belt one road initiative. And also in investment, they are giving more loans to low interest loans to other countries, so that they faced a lot of low money in their economy. That is was the biggest problem with the economy. And also how much they are facing, what are the problem they are facing means let's discuss about that. So biggest fall of export, the China's export is biggest fall. So exports declined a record high of 340 billion in December 2021 to 284 billion. So once in 2021 they recorded growth like that, 340 billion they exported. Now they are exporting only 284 billion dollar. That is biggest fall. That's also notable. And also the import also is alarming term, so that is also shrinked. So if what is the meaning of shrinking of import and export means, because the demand in the local country and also in the global demand is also reducing. That is what the problem faced by the China. Okay, so and also we can see the consumer price index, the economy is under the deflation. That is also biggest problem. And also if you see the unemployment, it is a recordable unemployment rate. the high of almost 20 percentage in June. In June this year, in June, they are facing unemployment rate up to 21 percentage. This is very huge for like uh, high young population country like China. That is very huge. Okay, lack of demand forces companies to reduce products and freeze hiring. They freeze, they produced less, and also they do some layoff to the workers and agree to new discounts to sell off their stocks. How did it get there? So what happened to the China? And we talked about China and China's economic policy and what are the issue facing today. And also we have to talk about the China's real estate sector. The real estate sector means they are investing a lot of money in the real estate, and they with the lowest interest, and the real estate company also they are making a lot of buildings for development. But actually that is not yield, because the consumer, they are purchasing the building real estate houses, but they don't have money because their demand is very low. But the total investment in the real estate that is depend on the bank loan. So if the real estate companies failed to repay the bank loan, because of the consumer is not giving money back, then it will be biggest problem for the that real estate company. That is also the biggest problem they are facing now. And also you can talk about we can talk about the country's the biggest company, that is Country Garden. The Country Garden's country's largest property developer. That is troubles in liquidity crisis. This company is facing a liquidity crisis. That is also biggest problem. That country's biggest real estate company, that is Country's Garden, it is facing that's the liquidity crisis. Then we can know that we can conclude that China is facing a biggest problem, and China is depending on nearly 29% of GDP from real estate sector. That is very huge. So China should focus on the real estate sector. That is what happened around 1929 economic crisis. The real estate is the biggest problem with any country while discussing with the economic crisis. The Communist Party also didn't take much measures to improve the demand side of the consumer. That is also biggest problem with China. And why it is concerns for the world means because the world growth of 2.6% real global growth is nearly 40% of growth is depend on China's growth. So if China's growth is reduced, then automatically the global growth also reduced. So if it is nearly 1.1% of China's growth is depend on the global growth, if it is reduced, then it will become a 0.5 points. That should be the world should know about that, and the world should take steps to reclaim the China's growth, and also you should learn to diversify its trade and growth, everything. So from this is what discussed in this today's article. And also we can what the crux we can take from this article means what are the impact on India. So in India we can talk about the trade dependence. So India is depending a lot of trade from lot of goods for raw materials from depending all the industries in India is depending a lot of raw materials from the China. If China face slowdown and also facing some kind of liquidity crisis, it definitely affect India's growth also. And India also face some kind of inflations, and because India is biggest India's second largest trade partner. India is having a second largest trade partner with China, so it definitely affect India's trade dependence. And also investment. Second topic is investment. In the investment side, China is investing a lot of money, and also it's developed a lot of unicorn company in India. If China is not investing in India's economy, and it's also affecting investment side. So if you focus on China side like this only, and if you focus other countries like US and Europe, if China is facing slowdown, they will focus on investment in India also. So that will give the positive opportunity for the investment in India. Then diplomatic, if you're talking about the diplomatic, so if China is slowing down, it cannot develop its one belt one road policy also, and also China Pakistan economic corridor also, the growth will be slumped down. So that it is some kind of positive for India, because India is not joined its one belt one road initiative, flagship initiative of one belt one road of China. So it is positive for India. So we can, the diplomatic side, it is some kind of positive, but economical side, the dependence for the raw material is kind of nearly, it's not good for India. And also that we can say that largely electronic sector, the chip making companies depend on China only. So that could be affected globally. So that should be focused. Everyone should be, what is the way forward means, China should take China should take consumer centric policy, and it should focus on the inequality and giving more money to the vulnerable section of the people. It should increase the demand side of the people. It should focus on internal development, like rather than focusing on industrial development. That should be, China should be learned, and India also, like that we are developing a lot of infrastructure side, and we are not focusing on the social welfare and demand side. So India should also focus on the demand side development, like increasing the making India as a formal economy, and also giving a lot of money to the people through making more formalized job for the people, and also making more manufacturing sector industries to develop jobs for the people, and rather than focusing more on service sector. So service sector, and also it should be focused on and also India is facing some kind of inflation in the food sector also, so that should also be reduced, and India should focus more on developing internally too. So that is what the lesson from the slowdown of China, that India should learn from this. Okay, that's all. That is what I want to discuss with this development. Okay, today's discussion is over, and we will start discussion tomorrow. Thank you.